Mark Zipnicki, and I am a 1974 graduate of St. Joe's. Basically, in a nutshell, our job here at the South Bend Wastewater Plant is to clean the wastewater produced by basically people in the city and the surrounding areas, and then hopefully it gets into the St. Joseph River as clean water, thereby keeping the river clean. But basically, the wastewater comes into this building first. And what happens here is that you've got bar screens, that's just a screening device that removes the trash material, rags, leaves, sticks, dogs. But it removes that large material and ends up in a dumpster and goes out to landfill. The next step are 2 grit tanks, where basically the majority of the treatment you're going to see here, you would find at probably 90% of the wastewater plants around this nation. What happens with grit tanks is in the sewer system itself, again, remember I told you that gravity basically is moving the wastewater. So the pipes are sloped downhill. Well, you want the water moving at least 2 feet per second. At that speed, the water can carry a lot of stuff with it. And typically, you get about 30 feet deep, and it's more economical to put a small electric pump in and pump it back up to street level and let it continue downward. So there's about 40 of those lift stations. Once we get to the grit tanks, you want that wastewater to slow down to about 1 foot per second. And at that speed, the water can no longer carry the heavy inorganic material. Bottom of the tank, we've got a series of collectors that will push it into an inlet where the pump will grab it and take it out. For our primary tanks, we have 8 primary tanks. And again, all we're doing there is we're slowing down how fast the water moves. Clean water, then the final step for it is to go into the chlorine contact tank where we disinfect it using chlorine, just like you would if you have a swimming pool. And at the very end, we take out any remaining chlorine using sulfur dioxide. And so what you have leaving this plant is basically swimming pool quality water. Run one, and maybe run it for a month or 2, and then take it offline, run the other tank. Notice through the plant, every piece of machinery, every pump, every tank, every valve has at least one backup system. Because by law, if we shut down this plant, we're in trouble. Short of a nuclear blast, we have to keep operating. So every piece of machinery we need has at least one backup. So in case one breaks, we can operate with a second system until we get the first back up and running. Five-centimeter openings, and anything larger than that gets caught, be raked up, hauled up to the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt takes it to the compactor and goes out to the dumpster there. Once that gets filled, it's going to go out to the landfill. The thing is gravity here to settle the heavy inorganic material, the grit, sand, gravel, dirt. The boards will move that to the pump inlet and get it out of here. What's happening here is gravity is grabbing the heavy organic solids at this point, food particles, things like that. They drop to the bottom. These boards are moving very slowly. They'll go to the end of the thing, drop down. They're scraping that sludge on the floor. this direction, where again the pump then will grab it and pump it out. When the boards are moving in this direction, they also skim the top of the water. So everything floating on top of the water gets shoved to this end, and then we have this trough that we can skim it into. Now the technical term for this material is scum, and I'm not lying, that's the name of it. It's mainly oil and greases, and in years past in the building behind you it had a scum burner. We simply burned it. But because of the air quality standards and the amount of money we'd have to put into it so it burned very cleanly, we got rid of it. Basically, we just kind of strain as much water out of it as we can, and ends up going into a dumpster, and as a special waste goes out to landfill. The water then leaves the primary tanks behind you here, going into these weird secondary treatment